within the state.
Thank you. And our next regularly scheduled meeting?
Our next regular board meeting will be live streamed via YouTube on Wednesday, January 26, 2022 at 10 a.m.
And roll call, please.
Commissioner Holden,
Here.
Commissioner Solomon,
Here.
Commissioner Chivukula,
Here.
Commissioner Gordon,
Here.
President Fiordaliso.
Here. Let me first of all welcome everyone and say good morning. I would like to welcome you to our first quarterly public meeting of 2022. And you say these years, and it's hard to believe that we're already 20 plus years into our new century. These meetings are intended to increase the board's accessibility and transparency, and to give members of the public an opportunity to speak directly to board commissioners on important issues of public interest. Today, we are hearing a staff presentation on our energy and customer assistance programs, and then hearing from the public on this topic. At the start of the pandemic, we could not have foreseen the sustaining and damaging effects it would have on our families and our finances. In the last 2 years, it has had a tremendous impact on all of our lives. And for thousands of utility customers, it meant falling behind on their bills. As a result, the utilities have arrearages totaling more than $500 million, and that's with a B, dollars. Over the last 2 years, the administration, the legislature, and the board have sought to help anyone who has had difficulty paying their bills. There have been shut-off moratoriums, expanded assistance programs, and most recently, a new law was established expanding the winter termination program. And the program was expanded to include water and wastewater, whereby customers cannot have their service shut off during the winter from November 15th through March 15th, aligning them with existing programs for gas and electric customers. I would like to once again encourage those who are listening to us that there is help available, and that's what we're going to be discussing to a large extent. Reach out to your utility. They are eager to set up a payment plan for you or to direct you to programs that are available to assist you in paying your bills. The financial impact, as I indicated, from COVID has been tremendous. And we are seeing people applying for assistance who never had to apply for it before. It's important. If you need that help, we and the utilities are here to assist you. During today's meeting, we will hear from the Board of Public Utilities Customer Assistance Division. They will be discussing the Universal Service Fund, the Universal Service Fresh Start page, and a winter termination program. I urge anyone, again, who has fallen behind in their utility bills to apply for our assistance and to contact, again, your utility company to set up payment plans. Do that immediately, because as every month goes by, those debts just continue to increase. One of the features of the winter termination law is it eliminates the requirement for a deposit to sign up for a payment plan. So please reach out today to set up a payment plan immediately. Once we reach the end of the winter termination program period on March 15th, many of these shut-off protections will go away. So I really urge everyone listening to either sign up for assistance to reduce your bill or call your utility to set up a payment plan. I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself in every sentence, but it's so vital and so important that you really consider reaching out to your utility company. Between the programs that the state and the BPU and the DCA have to offer, there's help there, help for you. So please, reach out. And tell your family members and friends who may not be listening to this webinar to also reach out. Because we don't want any New Jerseyan put into a position where they have to crawl out of a hole so deep that it's virtually impossible when help is available. While today's quarterly public meeting gives members of the public the opportunity to speak directly to the commissioners on this very important topic, we also reserve time at the end of this session for the public to raise any other issues if we have time. Please note that speakers should avoid commenting on contested matters before the board, but are welcome to raise general policy issues for the board's consideration. But if there is a contested case, unfortunately, we as commissioners will not be able to comment on those. Do any of my colleagues wish to make any opening remarks?
President Fiordaliso,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just happy to see that we're including water in this continued moratorium. And it's not so much that water use is the greatest during the winter season, as is electric and gas, but think of all the people that are still carrying over debt from the summer months when the greatest usage of water is. And also, this is terrific. Maybe this sends a signal nationally that this is not an issue that needs to be handled just once. We need a permanent fund for low-income water assistance. So hopefully we're sending the message. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank those who are listening to us for your interest in our work. Now, I'd like to call upon our first presenter, Director of Customer Assistance, Julie Ford.
Good morning.
Good morning, Director. I know you have some of your colleagues with you.
Yes, I do. And they will be making presentations today. Located within the Office of the Secretary is a Division of Customer Assistance, which includes Energy Programs and Assistance Unit, the Bureau of Customer Relations and Investigations and Enforcement, as well as the Research and Analysis Unit. First, I would like to introduce Richard Lambert, Bureau Chief of the Division, who will present the components of the board's winter termination program. Richard?
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hello, everyone. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities has a shutoff protection program known as the Winter Termination Program, or WTP for short. The program protects eligible residential electric and gas customers from shutoff during the winter months. It runs from November 15th to March 15th and can be extended due to weather-related conditions. In order to be eligible for the winter termination program, a residential customer of a regulated electric or gas utility in the state of New Jersey must be enrolled in one of the following programs or qualify for the 8th category. They are as follows: LIHEAP, USF, Lifeline, Utility Assistance, Pharmaceutical Assistance for the Aged and Disabled, Federal Supplemental Security Income, Work First New Jersey Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, Work First New Jersey General Assistance, or the 8th category, which is persons unable to pay their bills due to circumstances beyond their control. This could be something such as, but not limited to, sickness, divorce, death in the family, loss of income, etc. Under the winter termination program, all residential electric or gas customers who are eligible for the program shall enroll in the 12-month budget payment plan with their utility. These customers must also make good faith payments towards their budgets during the heating season if they have the ability to do so. Winter termination program eligible customers are usually required to make a down payment of up to 25% of their outstanding balance as a condition for entering the program, but this requirement has been waived during the current time period. Utilities shall refer to the New Jersey BPU for resolution all disputes regarding enrollment. Until the board has rendered a determination, utility must not discontinue service during the winter termination program time period. An important aspect of the winter termination allows for eligible customers who have been disconnected as of November 15th to have their service restored if they enroll in the 12-month budget plan. Utilities may not request a security deposit or an additional amount to an existing security deposit. It is also important to note that during the heating season, all discontinuance notices generated by utilities to residential electric and gas customers must be accompanied by a winter termination program fact sheet. These fact sheets, which are printed in both English and Spanish, must set forth all terms and conditions of the winter termination program. More information, such as the utility customer bill of rights, can be found at this website shown here. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. We appreciate your presentation. Next, we will have a presentation from Maureen Clark, who's the supervisor in our energy programs and assistance unit, which manages the board's low-income energy assistance programs, including the winter termination program, universal service fund, and a fresh start program. Maureen?
Thank you, Julie. So, sorry, went a little fast there. So USF was created by the Board of Public Utilities in 2003. It's administered by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. And the benefit it provides is a monthly credit on electric and gas bills. It used to be capped at $150, but the board increased the cap due to the pandemic to $180 a month, which is up to $2,160 a year. So it is a significant benefit. The goal of USF is to reduce customer bills to an affordable percentage of income, which I'll talk about in a moment. And the board also raised the income limit for USF temporarily for a 2-year period from 185% of federal poverty level to 400%. So to give you an idea, for a family of 4, the income limit was raised from about $48,000 last year to up to $106,000 this year. So a lot more people can access the programs and it can help a lot more people. To qualify for USF, your household income must be within the limits. A household member has to have a gas or electric bill in their name. And you need to spend more than a certain percentage of your income on electric or gas. The percentage depends on your heat source. And USF covers any amount spent on energy that is over that percentage of income up to the $180 a month cap. Something else the board did this past October was they created a minimum $5 monthly benefit. So normally if you don't spend more than that certain percentage of income on energy, you do not get USF. But now if you meet the income limits, you can get that minimum $5 monthly benefit. And while it doesn't sound like a lot, that gives you access to the Fresh Start Energy Debt Forgiveness Program, which I'll talk about in a moment. One fact about USF is that customers can apply for USF with the federal LIHEAP application. LIHEAP is also administered by the Department of Community Affairs, and you can get benefits from both programs. So it can add up to a lot of help. There's a lot of different ways to apply for USF and LIHEAP. You can apply online at the website above. You can call the statewide referral hotline 211. They can mail an application to you or help you find your local agency. You can also request a home visit if you're homebound. You can print the USF LIHEAP application, of course, off the websites, and you can request an appointment with your local USF LIHEAP application agency. Another thing that the board did due to the pandemic is that if you are disconnected, but you have submitted an application for USF LIHEAP or the PAGE program, which I'll talk about in a moment, you can request reconnection based on your application. If you have any questions about USF, you can call us at our 800 number or go to our website. We have a lot of information up there. So the next program is the Fresh Start program. BPU created this program in 2004, and this one is administered by the gas and electric companies. So how Fresh Start works is each month a USF customer pays their current bill, only current monthly charges, in full. A portion of their overdue balance is forgiven. So if a customer complies with that for 12 months, the full overdue balance is forgiven, and that's unlimited forgiveness. It doesn't matter how high. The goal is to give USF participants an opportunity to wipe out old debts, which after the pandemic are significant for a lot of people, and reestablish payment compliance with their utility companies. There's only two requirements for Fresh Start. You have to be a USF participant, and you need to owe more than $60 in overdue balances. And you cannot apply for Fresh Start, or rather you don't need to. Your utility company automatically enrolls USF customers with who have overdue balances of $60 or more. You get, as a Fresh Start customer, you get a lot of information from your utility companies about how the program works. Welcome letters, congratulatory letters, and reminder letters if you miss a payment. And your Fresh Start credits are shown on your utility bill. Some utilities forgive monthly and others quarterly. Another great feature of the Fresh Start program is that if you get to the end of the 12-month Fresh Start program, but you missed a payment or two, you enter a 3-month grace period whereby any payment you give your utility company goes towards those 12 months bills so that you can achieve full forgiveness of your overdue balance. So for example, if you owe $1,200 to your utility company, but you pay your current bill every month, $100 would be forgiven. Customers cannot be shut off for their Fresh Start balance during the program. However, at the end of the 15-month program, any overdue balance that has not been forgiven is restored to your account as due. And you cannot be removed from Fresh Start for non-payment. Just your opportunity to earn forgiveness simply expires at the end of the 15-month program. So you just want to take advantage of this program because it's pretty amazing. A new feature that the board did this fall was usually only first-time USF participants can access Fresh Start, but due to the pandemic, any USF participant with $60 or more in overdue balances can qualify for Fresh Start. So it's a great reason to apply, to fill out that USF LIHEAP application. And this change will be in place till September 2023. So all the expansions I talked about today are temporary for a 2-year program, for a 2-year period. If you have any questions about Fresh Start, you can call your utility company or the BPU. And another program that the board funds is the Payment Assistance for Gas and Electric, PAGE. It's administered by the nonprofit organization Affordable Housing Alliance. That's their website there. PAGE provides grants to electric and gas customers of public utilities. It's the same as USF. To qualify, you need to be within the income limits, which are moderate income. For a family of 4, it's almost $129,000 a year. You need to have a past due balance of at least $100, have a disconnection notice or be disconnected, and you cannot have liquid assets greater than $15,000. One note about Page is that if you're income eligible for USF and LIHEAP, you want to apply for those programs first because they can provide you with much greater benefits before seeking supplemental assistance from Page. And that's especially true during the emergency season because the LIHEAP program offers, significant emergency benefits after WTP is over. So the state wants you to go get all the federal dollars you're eligible for, and then, seek Page if you need additional assistance. Some facts about Page is they can be applied, the grants can be applied to overdue electric and gas bills, as well as utility security deposits. Most grant programs don't provide money for security deposits. Social security cards are requested, but not required. And a Page application can result in utility reconnection, the same as a USF LIHEAP application. To apply, you can go on the website. You can self-screen on the website to see if you're eligible. There's email, mail, of course, and all the regular access. And that's the hotline right there. It's also on our website. And if you have any concerns about Page, you can call customer assistance at the number. And that's all for me. I'd like to ask Frank Gaffney to take it from here.
Thank you, Maureen. Good morning, President, Commissioners. I'll be discussing the Affordable Connectivity Program. The Affordable Connectivity Program is an FCC program that helps connect families and households struggling to afford internet service. It provides up to $30 a month discount for broadband service, up to $75 a month discount for households on qualifying tribal lands, and a one-time discount of up to $100 for a laptop, desktop computer, or tablet purchased through a participating provider if the household contributes more than $10, but less than $50 towards the purchase price. A household is eligible if a member of the household meets at least one of the criteria. Those criteria are has an income that is at or below 200% of the federal poverty guidelines, participates in certain assistance programs such as SNAP, Medicaid, federal public housing assistance, SSI, WIC, or Lifeline, participates in one of several tribal specific programs such as the Bureau of Indian Affairs General Assistance, Tribal Head Start, Tribal TANF, or food distribution programs on Indian reservations, is approved to receive benefits under the free and reduced price school lunch program or the school breakfast program, including through the USDA community eligible provision. Received a federal Pell Grant during the current award year, or meets the eligibility criteria for a participating broadband provider's existing low-income program. So in order to enroll in that, the customer would contact the internet service provider and they will talk them through the application. That's the Affordable Connectivity Program. Thank you. So anyone who has any questions about these programs, there's more information available at the BPU's website, the DCA's website. You can call the utility company, the number on their bill, or email Maureen Clerk, NJ BPU Assistance Programs at maureenclerk@bpu.nj.gov. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Well, that, Julie, concludes staff's presentations, which really give a wide range of, available programs that are set up to assist people in many different areas. And I want to thank our outstanding staff for their presentations. and making it understandable. And I hope anyone listening will take these presentations to heart if you're in a situation where you need that kind of help. It's important that you take advantage of it. We don't want anybody drowning out there who needs this help. Help is available. Please take advantage of it. We will now move on to comments from the public. And I just want to give a few logistical housekeeping suggestions here. As a reminder, only pre-registered speakers will have the ability to speak and ask questions. People were notified of that. So anyone who wanted to speak, we ask that they pre-register themselves. We will not have a chat feature enabled and cannot accommodate anyone who didn't register to speak before the deadline. Members of the public who did not register will be able to watch via live stream on YouTube, just like we have for our regular board agenda meetings. While anyone who wishes to submit testimony is encouraged to do so. In these meetings, we are especially interested in hearing from people who we would not get to hear from during our regular stakeholder meetings. We want as broad participation as we possibly can get. Now is the time we get to hear from you. And my understanding is, Tina, you will announce speakers as we go along. Am I correct?
Yes, so our first speaker up is Thomas Churchlow.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Thomas, we can. Thank you.
Excellent. Good morning, Mr. President and Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Tom Churchlow, and I'm president of the New Jersey Utilities Association. The NJUA is the statewide trade association for New Jersey's investor-owned utilities that provide essential electric, natural gas, telecommunications, water and wastewater services throughout the state. And Mr. President and Commissioners, I want to say we really appreciate the opportunity to speak today. We're very pleased to see the establishment of these quarterly meetings that gives stakeholders, and more importantly, as you mentioned, Mr. President, the public at large, a voice, particularly at this critical time. We'd also like to take this opportunity today to ask that you leverage your influence with the governor's office and other relevant state entities to ensure that there is dedicated a sufficient portion of the American Rescue Plan funds that are available to help pay down utility arrearages that have accumulated over the past nearly 2 years now. As President Fiordaliso mentioned earlier, there are more than $500 million in arrearages pending in New Jersey. And although we're very hopeful as we anticipate that a greater number of customers will engage with their utility to get into assistance programs and deferred payment arrangements that were described earlier, now that the moratorium on shutoffs for non-payments is lifted, we do feel that additional funds would from the ARP funds would be very helpful. And I want to echo President Fiordaliso's urging at the start of the meeting for customers who are facing past due bills. Please reach out to your utility. They are very eager to work with you to help get you access to assistance programs and into enhanced deferred payment arrangements that were described in detail earlier in the meeting, as I mentioned. And I think now that we can work more effectively to get customers into these assistance programs, and we're confident that customers will continue to pay what they can afford toward their owed bills. The utilities do have concerns that that a large amount of services provided during the COVID-19 pandemic may remain uncompensated even after the late stages of recovery. So again, it's critical that we maximize available federal funding as these unresolved costs could ultimately have downstream effects on utility costs. And I want to take this opportunity also to note that since the beginning of the pandemic and throughout, NJUA and its member companies have been a committed partner in fighting COVID-19 impact in our state. The utilities worked closely with the state to provide crucial PPE from their own stockpiles, donated millions of dollars to charitable efforts to relieve many of the harmful effects of the pandemic. Currently, the utilities are doing everything in their power to resolve these arrearages by working alongside the BPU and DCA to link customers with assistance, utility assistance funding, and ultimately work to relieve customers of their unpaid bills. And we'll continue to make that effort. They've gone above and beyond to communicate with customers by leveraging direct calls, emails, text messages, digital and social media marketing, door hangers, and customer service technologies like Live Agent to communicate with customers. They're using a multi-pronged approach to connect and guide customers to programs that can resolve unpaid bills. But even with these efforts, there unfortunately remains, as I mentioned, low take rates on assistance. So again, we urge that customers contact their utility about assistance and enhance deferred payment arrangements. And once again, ask that decision makers at the state level provide for additional funding from ARP dollars that would provide more certainty and resolution for customers and for the utilities. We're also pleased that the board continues to work with the DCA and utilities to streamline this effort in getting funding directed to customer accounts. We urge continuation of that work so that funds are directed to customer accounts having arrearages with minimal administrative challenge for the customer or the utility. Additionally, we hope that you provide special consideration for our investor-owned water and wastewater utilities, as they're facing many of the same issues as we've seen in every other sector with respect to arrearages. However, they do not have similar protections to government-owned water and wastewater utilities, say through the power of taxation that those government entities have. And also the development of cost recovery mechanisms that exist in other sectors of utilities are still in the works. And so it's crucial, as Commissioner Holden emphasized earlier, that we have a permanent fund for low-income water customers. And we would urge that with that development of that investor-owned water customers have equal access to those funds. As we know, rather than having to socialize costs and write off uncollected debt, I know we're all interested in putting that money into improving water system infrastructure to continue the provision of clean drinking water, which is critical to the health and safety of our entire populace. As for revisions to the Customer Bill of Rights being implemented through new legislation, along with changes to that document that may come in the coming months, we respectfully ask that you provide the utilities at the board with sufficient lead time of at least 1 month, if not sooner, before requiring any change to bill inserts. And of course, that's because we don't want a scenario where we have two conflicting inserts, and in addition, changing the process midstream or at the 11th hour to revise an insert could result in significant costs, which are ultimately passed on to customers. So that concludes my comments today. We will provide more extensive written comments in very short order. We're happy to continue the discussion offline as we have been, and the NJUA is always happy to assist in coordinating contacts and discussions amongst utility members and the BPU. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Tom. Tina, our next speaker.
We do not have any additional speakers registered.
At this point, we have no additional speakers. Okay, well, I would like to thank today's presenters, Richard and Maureen and Frank and Julie for your outstanding team, Julie, for making the presentation
Thank you. Thank you.
understandable that I even understood it. So, I mean, that's pretty good. So I really appreciate that and so on. And for those of you who have joined us today, we here at the BPU pride ourselves by providing the best possible service available to the people of New Jersey. And one of our primary divisions that does that so well is customer assistance. And so thank you, Julie, and thank your entire team for what you do every single day, because you are in many ways the face of the Board of Public Utilities in how you help our fellow citizens through difficult times.
Thank you, sir.
If anyone wishes to submit comments after this meeting is over, you may do so via the board secretary at, jot this down if you'd like to send in some comments. We always are receptive to your comments, and sometimes we get comments that are so constructive that we employ them, and it's wonderful. Many times we don't have all the answers, and your input is very important to us. But if you'd like to send in some written comments, you send them to the board secretary at board.secretary@bpu.nj.gov. That's board.secretary@bpu.nj.gov. The deadline to submit written comments is 5 p.m. on Monday, February 14th. And please also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at NJBPU. You can also find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We're all over social media, and a lot of, I think, worthwhile information can be found if you do follow us on any or all of these social media outlets. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and I hope this session has helped you in formulating maybe your next moves and getting your finances in order so that you can proceed. Because this pandemic is going to be in the rearview mirror someday, and not quick enough, I'm sure, for most of us, but it will be. So I ask that you stay safe and you take the precautions necessary so that we can all enjoy a brighter and fruitful future. Do any of my colleagues wish to make any closing remarks? If there are no other items or comments, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Have a pleasant day and a safe day. Thank you so much.